Welcome to another edition of Outside of Genie, where we will be looking today at the race meeting at the Vaal. Today, the 16th of March, and we're racing on the Vaal track, not the normal Vaal track, not the classic track, where we have 8 races, and the first race starts at 1 o'clock. But before we go there, I just want to have a look at yesterday's results. Now, the big news of the day was the following, that in race number 7, we gave you as our best bet of the day, not just the normal outsiders, as our best bet of the day, we gave you 9 Follow My Path. Now, at that stage, Follow My Path was 9-2, but the horse drifted to 15-2, and it duly won. Now, guys, I don't know why it's that people, not more people sign up for Outsider Genie, because the value that I give you in relation to the amount that I charge for my selections, you can make it up with one single bet. But still people believe that, they don't need my advice, which is fine. I mean, everybody has got his own choices. And in that same race, I give you the full Monty. I gave you the Exacta, which paid 54 Rand, because I also gave you the 5 and the 3 as a box trifecta, which would have cost you 12 Rand to play. So you would have made a nice profit on that. I gave you all the swingers. I gave you the trifecta for 60 Rand, 246, and for 360 for the quartet, you would have collected 848 Rand. But that is not all. We also gave you, in race 3, we gave you Lundy Island, which was one of our outsider selections. Also, we gave you in that same race, I give you the 6 and the 7. Our outright winner was the 7, which just needed a run, and you surely need to watch that. And in my outsider selections in that race was 8 and 6. And yeah, I mean, if you added in the 5, maybe you had a 5, you would have also been standing in the pair queue laughing. Then, obviously, we all had number 2, and I also said number 11 will run a good race. So that didn't pay much, the Exacta, but still the 11 Rand second. Maybe you could have taken 211 field, and collected the quartet. Then in race number 5 again, I gave you the 6 and the 8, race 5. My first selection was the 7, that didn't run well. But the 6 was there and the 8 was there, and maybe you could have added some of your own selections. And then obviously in race 7, we had a full Monty and Follow My Path. And then in the PA, we only went out of that one leg for with the Forbes horse, with the wrong Forbes horse won, this number 8 assured. Because I said in my preview, do not leave out the number 8 assured, but because I'm trying to keep the cost of my pick 6 low, I didn't include that into my pick 6. But if you listened to my preview and you followed my advice, because the cost of my pick 6 was 101 Rand, so if you added the number 8 horse, it probably would have risen to about 150 Rand or so. And then you would have caught the quartet after pick 6 for 1% for 1,400 Rand. You would have collected for your layout. And also the PA, we also went out here I went out in the second leg, and that is race number 3. We went out because we had the 4 and the 7 in this race. So yeah, 4 was the favorite. So I had a 4 and the 7 in. Unfortunately, we went out there. But also that paid 57 Rand. But the point I'm trying to make is, and that is that people don't understand outside of Genie, I give you selections, and then you look at your selections, and then you can take some of my selections, add them to your selections, and thereby increasing your chances to win a bigger payout. Because ultimately, and that is what we all play for, we don't want to back the 9 to 10 or 8 to 10 shots. We want to back those bets that are going to give us a big return. And because I service a diverse a lot of punters, some like quartet, some like trifecta, some like Exacta, some like on the nose, some like the PA, some like the pick 6. And I cater for all So you can then take my selections and add them to whatever play you have. Because if my outsider selection do come in, then we collect the dividends. I mean, over the weekend, I gave you quartets that paid over 4,000 Rand and 3,000 Rand in Cape Town on Saturday. And that is what you want. You don't want the quartet that pays 120 Rand or something like that. So at the end of the day, you know, it is really worth your while to subscribe to Outsider Genie. And therefore today, I'm giving you this special offer, and this really is just for today. If you subscribe to Outsider Genie today, you will get the rest of March free, and you pay only 300 Rand, and you receive selections till end of May. Now the value is 1,200 Rand. The 200 Rand is for the end till the end of March, and then my normal price is 500 Rand a month for 2 months. So that is 1,200 Rand, which you can get for 400 Rand. In other words, only 50% of the normal price. And then if you want to join me on a long-term basis, why not take a package for 6 months? You take a package now till the end of August for 1,200 Rand. The real value is 3,500 times 6. Now you're only paying 200 Rand a month. So if you're looking today to subscribe to my daily form analysis, just WhatsApp me for bank details and let you join Outsider Genie. Yeah, fortunately, I do have my supporters. I have got guys every month. It's only a few guys, and I can assure you, I'm not getting rich out of this. I'm just, just helping me to get by. So it's not a rich scheme that I'm, trying to sell to you. I'm trying to sell you value. And there are some of these guys that I've got end of the month. They're paying the money because they do want to receive my selections because they work for me. I mean, I have done some research, and I see there's some tipsters out there which can't even match me. I mean, I haven't seen any tipster that can tip you a 15-2 best bet. A while ago, I gave you a horse. The horse drifted a best bet from 7-2 to 11-1. I couldn't find any tipster that tips you best bets of the day at that value. So why wait? Join Outsider Genie today and get yourself on the road to make money. I mean, just to conclude, one of my punters the other day, he took my two value bets and my best bet, and he took all to come for 3 horses, 25,000 to 100. I've got the ticket to prove it to you. So, I mean, even if you say, listen, even you don't have to play 100 Rand, let's say you just take my selections, all 3, my 2 value bets and my all to come, 20 Rand every day. Some other time you're going to hit it. I'm not going to say you're going to hit it every day, but you are going to hit it. I can promise you that. Even, I mean, if you took that bet because it was 250 for your 20 bucks, you would have gotten back 500 Rand. So that is that. So let's move on to the racing. And we kick off with race number 1. The Work Riders maiden plate for fillies and mares over 1,400 meters. Let's have a look at the betting. The betting is number 1, Bella of Belize, 19-20, D Express 3-1, Fascinada is 13-2, King Triton's Lash 8-1, Apple Drop 14-1, Sheltering Sky 16-1, 35-1 and longer, scratch number 2 and number 6. Yeah, so in this race, it's hard to go against the favorite here because the favorite here, number 1, do have strong form, and the jockey has ridden a few winners already. But if you can see, this horse ran against Sparkling Water. Sparkling Water was placed in a future. Phoenix is also a good horse already, 8 runners, 1 winner. Lyrical Dance, 9 runs, 1 winner. And then out of his last race, Golden Spoon, where he ran second, there hasn't been any runnies yet. So I think number 1, Bella Belize, is a strong favorite and should duly won this race. For outsider selections, I went for number 3 and number 4, Apple Drop. In this field, I mean, the rest of the field is not strong. There's no strong form. But Apple Drop has run 2 reasonable races in his last 3 races at the 4.75 behind Arabian Queen, which was also a long time maiden, and then behind Emmeline, which already there's a winner out of that race, and also even his last race behind Phoenix, which is the same form that you can find in number one, Phoenix. Apple Drop was 7.5 behind, and number one was 3.5 behind. But surely it can probably improve. I don't know the jockey. I haven't seen. I don't know if this is his first ride. I haven't. It's the first time that I see that name. Then number 4 is Fascinada. I did fancy that this horse last time out behind Bat Out of Hell, but unfortunately the horse was slow, lost one link. But has got the service of Sam Messiah, and that's always a plus. And also I do think the 1400 meters might suit this horse being out of a season mean. So 4 Fascinada can definitely be in your calculations. And another horse I want to have a look at is number 11, and that's Lee Express. Also had a nice first 2 runs, and I'm sure with the jockey who normally rides for Sean Terry, but Sean Terry don't have anything in this race. So Lee Express, I think, can also be in the mix. First time at King Triton's last, a bumper in Seattle, by All Fired Up May. If there is a bit of money for it in the betting, see how the horse looks in the parade, and then decide if you want to add that in. Then also another horse that I want to point out to you is number 5, Sheltering Sky. Maybe for the back end of your quartet, has been placed over shorter distances. Did run once over the 1400 meters, was 4th, but 8 lengths behind. But maybe to include in your back end of your quartets, as is number 8, Chloe Girl. This horse ran a decent second race, and then after that the wheels just fell off, but now bringing it back over a shorter distance after the 2000 meters and the 1450, but also a horse that you might want to include in the back end of your quartets. So then we move to race number 2, which is a maiden plate over 14 meters, and here we have another strong favorite, number 1, race the Red Lantern, 15 to 10, Sudden Song 4 to 1, Contenta 5 to 1, Global Player 8 to 1, Freezing Fast 10 to 1, Touched by Stars 14 to 1, Star Effect 16 to 1, 25 to 1, and Better the Rest. Here again, it's difficult to go against the favorite. The favorite has notched up 4 second places, and surely today might be the day that they can find the number 1 box with number 1, Sent by Destiny. Also a horse that has run against some decent opposition, and yeah, I do believe that the horse is due for a win and should be in the number 1 box after the race. And for outsider selections, I'm going for number 4, Star Effect. The Hand Stinger is getting a few winners. This horse runs second behind Ursula, 2 runs back. Last time ran on, was hanging out in the last 400 meters behind Light with Help. And in this not too strong field, this well-bred Star Effect can be a factor. And here we have number 5, Freezing Fast. I'm really hoping for Yanni Borman to soon get his first winner after Kimberley. But this horse has also been running places and surely can be involved in the finish. But there will be a jockey change here, as this jockey Schwartz did broke his shoulder or his collarbone after a fall on Saturday. So there's going to be a jockey change for that one. Then also you're going to have a look at number 12. Number 12 being Sudden Song, a Dynasty by Sesame, very well bred, and that debut nicely behind Perfect Angel. And I do think that this can be the biggest opposition to number 1, Sent by Destiny. This horse will be running on at the end. So certainly 12 Sudden Song need to be included in all your calculations. We then move on to race number 3, which is a progress plate for fillies and mares over 1,000 meters. And here the betting is as follows. Number 1, Winter Smoke 13 to 10, Slalom Queen 90 to 10, 12 to 5, Variana, Medical Flight 7 to 2, Springer Caramel 11 to 2, Jam Fancy 10 to 1, Dark Crystal 20 to 1. So here my first selection is the number 1 horse, Winter Smoke, who is also the best handicap. He has run against some decent opposition, and I think in this race, after running 1.75 behind through to life, unfortunately, I also believe that get colic on Saturday and passed on. But I think Winter Smoke has run against vastly stronger opposition than she'll find here. And for outsider selection in this race, I've only got one outsider. I went for number 6, Jam Fancy, which is a Duke of Marmalade by Varme, which is a stable companion to the number 1. And I just feel that you need to include this horse. This horse is only a 3-year-old and can still improve. Last time out ran behind Stormy Seas. But the type of horse that can be involved in the placings, Jam Fancy. And lately we have seen where horses was under sufferance did win a race on Saturday, the first leg of the Pick 6. A case in point where that horse was 12 kilograms under sufferance and it still won. Then I think the biggest danger to the favorite, number 1, is Slalom Queen, which is also the second best handicap. Has also run against some decent opposition, and I think number 4 can be involved in the finish. As is number 5, Variana, also another fortune image that can also lift the feet a little bit. So definitely looks like Andrew Fortune, not Andrew, Ashley Fortune has got a big hand in this race. So let's move on to race number 4, which is a merited 69 handicap over 2,000 meters. And here the betting is as follows. Number 5, Nazi, 20 feet, 20, Salai, 72, 92, Johnny Hero, 11 to 2, Sealam Zesh, Sunshine Still 12 to 1, Numcha 11 to 1, Alquays 11 to 1, 14 to 1, Barak. Now here we have a class A 93. Now my first selection is number 1, Sunshine Silk. Now number 1, Sunshine Silk ran in a division 102. Now in a 93, where she beat a very good filly with the name of Jet Star. And I think if she can repeat that effort, she did change stables recently, and it looks like, they say a change is as good as a holiday. And I'm thinking if she can repeat that run, certainly I think Sunshine Silk is going to be a huge runner in this field. In my outsider selections here is in race number 4, is number 2, Johnny Hero. Johnny Hero did win last time, but in a lower division, but has run well in 104 over the 2,000 meters, so certainly in with a chance. I haven't included my Pick 6 purely because of the cost factor, but if you can afford, add this to your Pick 6, number 2, Johnny Hero. My other outsiders, other selection in this race is number 5, Nazi, obviously is running well and do have a chance in this field. And then also number 3, Sell High. Sell High is a horse that is really running well at the moment. It is very strange that you can find a horse that dead eat twice. Some horses never dead eat. Now Sell High has dead eaten with Nansha, and then last time with Tigers Express. Tigers Express just got beaten in a future the other day. So I'm thinking Free Sell High definitely in with a chance. I haven't included Nimcha in my selections, but I did give it last time, but it was not striding out. So maybe today again, if you can afford it, maybe chuck into your trifectas, quartets, and selections. So let's move on to race number 5, which is a merit rated 65 divided handicap for fillies and mares class E63. And here the betting as follows. In my mind, an open race, if you bet 92 to field, then you must know lots of horses with chances. Lotus 92, Liverpool Legend 6 to 1, Euphorian 6 to 1, 7 to 1, Mirren last year 9 to 1, Flower Season 12 to 1, Godju 12 to 1, Perth 14 to 1, Plumfield, Pucker Up 16 to 1, Irish Dame 20 to 1, Raise the Rebel 20 to 1, 25 to 1, Piccadilly Square, and 30 to 1 and longer. Scratch number 12, Winning Queen. So here in this race, in race 5, my first selection is number 10. Euphoriant. Now, Euphoriant, you'll see here that the name Feldflower keeps on popping up. Now, first of all, it's getting a -1.5. And, you know, when Feldflower did eat it with, GENIE, I thought that is not going to be strong form. Then Feldflower came out and won 2 races after that already. So this form of Euphoriant behind Feldflower turns out to be very good form. And she has run some decent races. And I expected today with -1.5, she should be very competitive in this race number 5, where she's running in an E Division 63. And both her last 2 runs was in D Division 68. So against some decent opposition. And I think number 10 is going to go close in this race. In my outsider selections, is really outsiders, but I think they're going to run well today. And that's number 14, Piccadilly Square. Been knocking on the door, did win in November at a Vaal over 1800 meters in a 65. Now running over 2000 meters in a 63, but was running on from behind. So certainly that's the distance will suit this horse. Then ran in the, those classified stakes behind Burn Jasper, twice the Act, always thereabouts, then behind Sun Giant, and then last time also in that race against Feldflower. And I think Piccadilly Square today ready to run a huge race, as is this horse number 15, Pucker Up. When this horse had his first few runs, I thought this horse will never win a race. But he managed to win 2 races, and as you can see, he has run against Piccadilly Square before, where he was giving away 2 kilograms. Now against Piccadilly Square, only a half kilogram for a 1.75, 1.5 beating. So definitely can be, turn that around. And I'm also going to have a jockey change. And then last time out ran behind Pramuma's Pride, which came out and won the Derby trial, and running on with 23.6400 to finish. Number 15, Pucker Up. Not a horse that you can leave out, I would think, of any of your bets. And then let's have a look at number 1. Number 1 is Liverpool Legend. Also a horse that won recently and always runs his heart out, and giving his best. And here's number 2, Lotus. Ran a nice race after the maiden plate, but that was on the poly. Now back on the Vaal, but managed to run a few second places here, second behind Liverpool, the Luvia. So certainly I would think number 2, Lotus, also a horse that needs to go in all to your play. We then move on to race number 6. Which is one of these maiden handicaps, which is always difficult to predict. So they work here in a class E average metadata 56, because this is now just like I just call it a maiden handicap, but what it is in essence, it is a handicap race. So that's the way it is. So Amberlow Star 5-2, Admire Lady 33-10, Arizona Lady, Masakin 7-2, Crusade to Royalty 7-1, Duchess of Conde 7-1, 13-1, Intercity, Just Magic 22-1, Venus Flyer at 22-1, Lakisha 28-1, and 35-1 and better. So here in race 6, my first selection is number 1, Amberlow Star. Amberlow Star ran a very good race last Saturday, finishing third, 1.75 lengths behind the winner, was running on strongly. But I've seen in the past that, maybe out of 10 races that of these type of maiden handicaps, about 3 or 4 favorites wins. It's like the normal favorite. They say favorites only win 33%. But hopefully, number one, I'm at low star will be one of those horses falling in the 50% category, because this is also really a very, very weak field. And surely I think he might be too good for this field. For outsider selections, I went with number 16 Intercity, which is a wily wall out of a lateral mare. And I would think race 6, the 1700 meters would suit. That make a nice debut. And after that, ran 6 lengths behind in number, but last time out, I don't know what happened, but it is getting the -4, and that makes a big difference. The horse will only be carrying 53, and surely needs to be included in your play just because of the weight. And then I've got here a horse from my old friend Bill Heeman. I've known Bill Heeman more than 20 years. Now this horse, keeps on popping up here and there. And I think one day he's going to surprise Sandri and all. And he's got the type of jockey on that do win quite a number of races on outsiders. On his second last race behind Mirren, surely this horse must have a chance. Last time out behind Wanderers, slow into stride. But I think just include this for, because this horse is also just carrying 54.5. And I have also seen with these type of classified maidens that some of the, lower weighted horses win these races as huge outsiders. And we need to have a look at number 2 as well, which is Arizona Lady. Arizona Lady ran on well last time out, 59.5, Kumana on board, and certainly also in with a chance. And then also include in your play number 3, Massacre, Australia import by Jeffalo, nicely bred by Strathamere. Really, you can't get better breeding. And also a type of horse getting the 1.5 from the top weight that can be, that can be included and can be successful in this race. So then we move to race number 7, which is another maiden handicap for fillies and mares over 1700 meters. And here we have a look at the betting. And I can tell you, I expect the outsider in this race. I'll tell you now which horse I like. 5-2, Gal Gadot. Love Posey, 28-10, Badian Pride, feed 4-1. Opera Class, 11-2, Winston's Nanny, 13-1. Ocean Sprite, I don't know if that is going to be a scratching. 20-1, Kiss by Fire, Grace Lee, 20-1. 25-1, Mandikai, Old Sweet Song, 55, and Sweet Alexis, 80-1. So here in my, in race 7, my first selection is number 6. I've been preaching this Grace Lou for a long time now, but today he's only carrying 52, plus getting a -1.5, so only carrying 50.5 kilograms. And here he ran 5 lengths behind Mirror, 4th behind Support. But you can see this was second fastest 400, second fastest 400, third fastest 400. And I think I just got a feeling from draw 6 today. This horse is going to be the horse that's going to be running on strongly at the end, Grace Lou. And this is the same trainer that had that big upset on Saturday. So surely he must know what he's doing. So definitely include. And then also number 5, Opera Glass, a Flower Alley by Ford with me. Would surely enjoy the 1700 meters. Last time out improved from his last 2 runs. And I think Opera Glass can also be a contender here at the finish. Also, a horse called like Winston's Nanny, also carrying 52, has run the odd good race here and there. Actually, to maybe take it behind Your Deserve and you deserve it and Sensei's. But in this type of field, as I say, the weight reduction do play a huge role in this race. Then if you have a look here at the top, Gal Gadot is the favorite, Kumalo, but is drawn 11. I'm not a big fan of this horse, but this horse did improve last time out behind Asperina. I have been following it, but it's not the type of horse that I'll be rushing to the bookmakers to get my money on. Bedian Ride, He's also a horse that's always there and thereabouts, 2 lengths behind, 3 lengths behind, 5 lengths behind, and certainly must have a chance in this field to include in all your play. Number 2, Love Posey did run a nice over 1,000 meters, now going the 1,700 meters after showing a bit of pace but faded out, so maybe the 1,700 meters will suit. The Flower Alley by Richmond's Gold Mare, so certainly also a horse to be included into your play. So then let's now move on to the last race, which is a measured at 84 handicap over 1,500 meters. And here the betting is as follows. Another open race, I would think Princess Ivanov 3-1, Suited Connected 5-92, Wakar 6-1, Supreme Dance 15-2, 11-1, Star Flash, Governor's Glory 12-1, Bahuna Brides 12-1, El Romanza 16-1. 16-1 Magic Vision, 20-1, and better the race. Number 1 Strut is Tatale. Now, in my mind, also a open race. I did last time out when Prince Ivanov won, I gave that as my outright selection. But I think today is going to be a tougher race than it's running against. Although it is a 74 today, he was running in a 75 and the 85 before. And my first selection here is the number 10 horse. Now, I don't normally tip a horse winning after his maiden, but you know, this horse is a Futura by Daniel May, extremely well bred. And they got Spear straight arm on, he's having a half a kilogram overweight. But I watched this race at the Vaal behind Judges Week. This horse moved up effortlessly and he was in control a long way out. And I just think that this is the type of horse, looking at the breeding, and I'm going on the breeding, that he would even enjoy the 1,500 meters even more and is going to be more effective. So my first selection here is number 10, Supreme Dance. In my outsider selections, one of my outsider selections, number 9, Wakars, getting the minus 1.5. This horse also runs constantly, has run against, better position, 76, 82, 80. So Wakar definitely today in with a huge chance in this field, also getting the minus 1.5. And then my other outsider selection is number 1, which is Strada Star. They're coming from a long race of, not a long race, 101 days. But this horse is also running, you can see here, 81, won by 4 lengths, 88, second to Elusive Forge, very good horses. Saragon, Sultana, now coming up the race, Express of the USA, running down in class, carrying 60 kilograms. I'm thinking number 1, Stade Satale, can be a huge runner in this race. And as I said, number 2, Prince of Valanov, I give him a chance. He's not without a chance, certainly, to be included. Another horse that also is starting to get back to form is number 3, Star Flash. But one I have to see if we can do the distance, because he didn't go too well over the 1,400 meters. But then last time over behind Ice Lord was moved up no extra, now going the 1,500 meters. And if you're looking for a real roughie to surprise, don't leave out number 4, Whipping Boy. I haven't put it in any of my calculations, but getting a minus 2.5, this jockey has ridden this horse 10 times for a win, 4 seconds, a third, and 2/4. So 8 out of 10, he used to get places. So if you're looking for something to put in the back end of your quartets, look no further than number 4, Whipping Boy. But that brings us to the end of my preview. I hope I could point you in the right direction for a few winners. And as I always say, break a leg.